Hello and welcome to episode number 59 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is, how well are you using your time? Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Linh Trinh. I've decided to do a podcast episode today on this because last night I was speaking to my lovely partner, Kerry, who's absolutely amazing. And we're sitting down, we're catching up, and I was really digging into what I learned over the last week, being in Boise, being in Idaho, America, catching up with all these entrepreneurs. And she noticed a big change and a radical shift in my mindset and where I was going and what I was doing. But more so, she had changed herself. And so we both came back and we noticed a different vibe. We noticed a different energy around each other. And it wasn't particularly bad energy. It's just that we'd left on a great note and now we came back and things weren't quite fitting together. Not to say that there was anything bad about that, but within seeing that, we saw ourselves change. Because if you don't change, we both come back together, we still fit in, we're like two peas in a pod, right? But if we're both growing in the space of a week, we come back and we figure out that, hey, hold on a second, this doesn't feel not quite right. And so we needed to sit down, and it was a great conversation, 3 hours worth of talking and wine. And we really sat down and I was going through my own experience, my own change, and what I've been able to attract and my level of certainty moving forward. And, I wanted to talk about this because it brings together a higher level of discussion, helping you take action, helping you push forward. Because, for a long time I thought if I wanted to make more money, I focus on, making money. Or if I wanted to get rid of debt, I would focus and I'd stress out about getting out of debt. And one of the biggest realizations that I made yesterday within that conversation, within sharing with her on how I progressed, was the fact that, who did I have to become in order to get to where I am? Okay, who do I have to become to make the level of income that I'm making, in order to having a fantastic relationship in terms of who do I have to become to be strong in the gym, right? As opposed to what do I need to do? Because what do I need to do implies that you're consistently doing it and you're pushing and you have to rock up against your will. But who do I need to become? When you ask yourself that question, who do you need to become? Then you start thinking differently because you accept that you need to evolve into a new person. What I mean by this is, let's say, for example, who do I need to become to deadlift 200 kilos off the floor, 440 pounds, as opposed to what do I need to do? Because if I ask myself, what do I need to do? Then I've got a big list and it feels like I'm pushing up an uphill battle. But when I ask myself, who do I need to become? I'm suddenly reframing that question to go, okay, well, I have to change. I know I have to change. Being where I am now, right, isn't going to get me that 200 kilo deadlift. And I deadlift 250, by the way, but let's just say 200, right? And that question and reframing that into my mind says, me being my physical shape and me being who I am right now is incapable of deadlifting 200 kilos, right? So it's not a question of what do I need to do, because it doesn't matter what I need to do. Because even if I do the stuff that I am who I am now, I'm not going to do it. Because there comes resistance. Because it's one thing to know what to do and another thing to do it. So the person that I become, right, the person that I transform and evolve to become does the work. The other person knows what to do but doesn't do the work. Okay, and this was a great realization. And so I was sitting there and I was mapping out and I was talking to her about who I've become, who I've evolved into. Not that you're a different person, you're just a better version of yourself. You're constantly evolving. If you're learning, you're growing and you're sharing, then you're going to evolve at a radical speed. 50 days ago when I started this podcast, my level of awareness wasn't at this level. And in the 50 days, it's going to be in another level. And that's the same with you. Because the truth is, if you're not growing, you're dying, right? You can't stay still. There is no death. You have a look at a tree. A tree is either growing or it's withering away. Everything in life, because we're all particles. And as long as the particles keep moving, rejuvenating, we're continually growing. But if they stop, then we're dying. They're withering away. Okay, and with that being said, sitting down and I was mapping out this new business project for her, and she needed to pick up 5 new clients because she works in the corporate world. The problem with working in the corporate world is your income, your salary is capped. You're not living life according to your own terms. You're living life according to somebody else's terms because you've given up your ability and your choice. Okay. And so along the way, we inspire each other, and she inspires me in many different ways. But in this instance, I inspire her to take that leap of faith. And so we're mapping out a project to bring together a passion, which is photography, food, fitness, into one thing. And I said, well, look, Kerry, what needs to happen for you to take this leap of faith and move? What needs to happen for you to go, okay, I'm going to step out? And for her, it's to replace her income. So I said, okay, well, how long would you need? And we broke it down into the weekly salaries. And I said, well, how long would you need to do this? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, ballpark. And, for anybody, if you don't know, the best thing to do is to get clear. Because for her, it went from, I don't know, this could take 6 months, to, I don't know, this could take years. I don't know if this thing is ever going to happen, to me going, okay, well, let's work this out backwards then, right? What does it need to happen, or what needs to happen for you to step out of your comfort zone and take that leap of faith? And for her, getting clear on those goals was, okay, well, I need 5 clients. And I'm like, okay, well, we don't have any industry experience then. How are we going to get 5 clients? Well, what do you need to get 5 clients? And she's like, well, I need to set up a proposal. I need to do all these things. I need to know the back end. I need to know how to get them results. I need to know all these things, right? And I was like, okay, that's cool. How long is that going to take you to set up? She's like, probably a few months. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then by the time you set it up, would you have full certainty and confidence to go out there and get the 5 clients? And she looked at me and smiled. She's like, I don't know. And I said, okay, that's cool. Because in order for you to go out there and get 5 clients, if that's the goal, because in order for you to take this leap of faith, you need 5 clients, right? But if you're spending all this time, you're spending the next couple of months building out these frameworks, and then even when you've built out that framework, you're not going to take the leap of faith. And I guarantee you, from my experience, that what's going to happen is you're going to knock yourself out of the game, because those 3 months will turn into 10 months. And then once you've spent 10 months going through it, you probably won't even finish the project by time. And if you do finish the project, you'll be like, nah, it's not good enough, or nah, the market changed, and something else will come up. And so that solution seemed to be a dead end, but it was getting clear around that solution. And so I said to her, well, what can we do to get 5 clients right now? So you have certainty. Is there any other pathway? And I'm like, can't we go out and get 5 clients first and get them results, right? Because she isn't an expert. She hasn't started. She hasn't got any testimonials. And the thing is, if you don't have any testimonials, right, no matter what you build, no matter how good you think you are, if you haven't gotten anyone results, you're going to feel a level of uncertainty, because you're always going to wonder, can I get them results? And when you have this level of uncertainty, when you have this level of discomfort, and you're not sure, you're not 100% sure that you can get someone results, you don't do anything. You're not going to sell a person into your program, and you're not going to do everything you can to get them into your program, sign up a new client, because you're scared you can't get them results. Okay, and so this level of uncertainty creates this void where you don't want to do it. And I expressed that to her, and I said, hey, look, the fastest way for you to get 5 clients is to get 5 clients, get them on for free, and get them incredible results. Then use those results, create an insane offer, something where it mitigates and reduces the risk on the business's path or your client's path, so that they've got a no-brainer of an opportunity to want to work with you, and then get them on board. And I said to her, okay, you propose that, this thing would take you 3 months if you did it your way, but if you do it my way and we switch it around, because the only thing she needs is 5 clients. If we can get 5 clients, we can get 5 clients before those 5 clients, get them results, work with them for free, deliver awesome value, build out the systems, use them as testimonials to then attract these next 5 clients. How quickly could that be built out? I was like, Kerry, could you get 5 clients for free in the next 21 days? She's like, absolutely. And we sat there, and it was 7 p.m. at night, and I asked her, Kerry, if we really had to, could we get 5 clients in the next 2 hours? If we sat out right now and we mapped out all the potential clients you had, and then we hit them up saying, look, we're going to operate and we're going to provide you a service, and this is what we're going to do for you, and these are the results you're going to expect, and you're not going to be at all, right, out of pocket. We're going to take on all the risk. You're going to get these rewards, and there's absolutely nothing for you to lose. Could we do that in the next 2 hours? And then she looked at me, and I looked at her, and I smiled. And she smiled because she knew it was yes. And so what happens is this. And the whole reasons why I'm telling you this story and telling you about this on this podcast episode is the fact that we, inside our minds, put out an ideal, right, time and an ideal length of time for any new project. If I asked you to go out there and get 5 new clients, how long would that take? And for you to be inside this state at this very moment, here's the truth, is that if you don't do it now, the longer you put it off, the longer it's going to take to do. Because what's happening at this very moment in time is you're absorbing this knowledge. You're in what Tony Robbins calls a peak state, right? You're motivated, you're inspired, you get it. But the problem is, if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. And even if you do it tomorrow, you're not going to be in that peak inspired state and you don't know what's happening because you're going to be distracted by a million things that come around. All these distractions, social media, new president, your friends, cat stories on YouTube, right? All these things that will come around. So what I'm trying to tell you is how valuable are you using your time today? Because when you think of an idea, when you get inspired, you need to compress time and do it now. Because when you do it now, that is the biggest chance you have at succeeding. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not 5 days later. You need to take action on it now, because the sooner you take action on it, the higher the probability that that will get done, and the faster it will get done. It's all a win-win-win situation. Not only do you reduce and compress time, something that Gary thought would take 21 days, we could do in 2 hours. Not only could we do that, but we could actually knock it out. Use our emotion, use our inspiration to follow through right then and there and not drag it out. Because sometimes the things that we don't follow through on is because are the things that we're not inspired to do anymore, and because we've lost motivation along the way. So why I'm telling you this podcast, why am I telling you this message inside this podcast today is really to get you to follow through and give you an idea of why things haven't been working out for you, why you've started a project and you just haven't finished it. Why you start projects and you don't finish it? Because number one, you elongate or you open up, you expand time to meet those projects' needs when there was no need to expand time. You just gave yourself 21 days when you could have done it in 2 hours. Really. The second thing is you left it until the next day. And unfortunately, the next day you lose motivation, you lose inspiration. Okay, and these are the things that I've learned, because when I talk back and I go, who do I need to become to attract all the things that I get in my life in terms of business, body, who do I need to become as opposed to what do I need to do? I need to become this person that takes action now. What do I need to do? Well, I need to do a whole bunch of things. Carrie needed to do a whole bunch of things, right? But she wasn't going to do them. Who do you need to become successful today and take action and follow through? Because what you need to do doesn't matter, right? I could give Carrie the plan. What does she need to do to get to those 5 clients? But who does she need to become is more important, because she needs to become the person that takes action right then and there in her most inspired state. If she takes action over 21 days, she's going to go back to her work tomorrow. She's going to be inspired by, or less inspired by, other people around her. The environment plays a big key. Everyone's in the corporate world talking about, working 9 to 5, going home, watching TV, what was on last night. Not going to feel inspired. Why I'm telling you this is because it is something that I've discovered in terms of my own personal development and growth, and I wanted to share that with you, because these are answers and these are questions that I asked myself when I was struggling, when I was really trying to get myself out of debt, when I was trying to get a few more clients. I kept focusing on the wrong things, okay, as opposed to focusing on what do I need to do, what strategy do I need, who do you need to become? Okay, and that is the question. And are you using your time wisely? Are you decompressing that time to go, right, I'm going to be honest and truthful for myself. I can get this shit done in 2 hours. Why am I leaving it for 4 weeks? So I want you to be honest. It's not about productivity. It's about compressing time and using that motivation and being in your most inspired state to take action, okay, regardless of the difficulty. Because it's one thing to get yourself psyched up and go, oh my God, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to start tomorrow and it's going to be 4 weeks and it's going to be done. But truth be told, well, you and I have tried that. And that hasn't worked. Okay, so I really want to hope that this podcast inspires you to understand a little bit better or a little bit more about yourself and understand why things may not have worked out in the past. But here's your chance to change, because whatever's happened in the past doesn't have to happen in the future unless you course correct. And if you will try this, whatever you become inspired to do, whatever you want to create, you take action on it now, because you're in your most inspired state and you compress time, because the time that you're giving yourself isn't really truly what it would take. Because you'd ask Richard Branson the same thing, and Richard Branson would say that would take me 5 minutes and it'll take you three months. Okay, so with that being said, I really hope this podcast episode helped and it opened a few things and you found a few gems in there. I really do. But also, if you did do that, please do share this podcast episode with another trainer, another coach. And I want you to find out and see inside your life at this moment in time, where have you let yourself down in the sense that you were going to create something, but you fell for that instant gratification of feeling good without doing anything then and there. Look back in terms of your course. Are you building out a flagship program? You're saying, well, I'll push it off to tomorrow. Are you doing something at this very moment in time? Should you be launching that Facebook ad? Should you be writing that blog? Should you be writing that email, but you haven't? And you know that you have a plan to make you feel good, but you haven't taken action on it now. Because if you don't take action on it now, you're not going to take action on it ever. Okay, that is all I have for you. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you on the next podcast episode. Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes, and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks, and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.